I want to replace this S everywhere to capital S, for example. So let's say we are saying print, say using replace function. Okay, and we use here we use the str1 dot replace. Say I'm giving here small s with, let's use a dollar sign, okay, for replacing. Let's execute it. So wherever you're finding s, it is replacing that character with a dollar sign, and it has to be small s. So for example, say this one is a capital S. Let's try and execute this again. See, this is not changed because as we have discussed, Python is a case sensitive language. So for Python, small s is different and capital S is different. So it will only replace wherever it is finding a lowercase s character in the given string, it will replace that with a dollar character. So be careful while you're giving the, or while you're using the replace functions over here. Now, what if I want to replace some word, or I want to print some word over there? Say for example, let's say I'm using here a print function. We are having here the word children. Okay, so let's use here print children in str1. Let's try and execute. See, it is giving me a Boolean value, which means I'm just finding whether this word is there in the given string. So if it is there, I will get the value true. Again, as I have told you, if I make C capital, now this is not occurring in the string. If I check it as per the case sensitivity, right? So it is giving me the value as false. So you can check if a particular word is appearing in the string by using the word in the str function. Again, similarly, if you want to use, say using replace with word, okay, and here I'm saying str1 dot replace, I want to replace, say is with I dollar, or say I dollar, like this. So let's try and execute this and check the output. So see, is being replaced with I capital and S as dollar. So you can either replace a word or you can use replace for characters, totally depending on you. How do you want to make it use? Now let's do one thing. Let's create another program. We'll create a new Python file, say second.py. Okay. And now let's work with the formatted strings. Okay. Now formatted strings, basically, I will create an example like, say we are creating a variable and we are taking the input from the user for asking enter the first name. Then we are asking the last name. Again, we are taking input, say enter the last name. Let's give a space here also. Fine. So we'll get the values in first name and last name. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to print something like this. Say, for example, let's take an example that first name has a value Mark and the last name has a value Williams. But I want to print like this. Say Mark Williams, like this, is a developer. So I want to enclose the last name in a square bracket. So square bracket, I want to print the value of last name, concatenate with that the string, and before that the value of first name and a space. I want to print it like this. Now there are two ways in which you can do. Okay, let's take a variable str1 and we will put this over here. First way is use the first name variable. Okay, with that you will use a concatenate operator. Open the single quotation marks. I want to use a space and a square bracket, opening square bracket, because first name would be only this much. So I want to concatenate with that a space and a square bracket like this. Again, I want to concatenate with that the value of last name. After last name, again, I want square bracket, a space, and say is a developer. If I try to print this str1, I will get the output. Okay, if I try to execute this, let's execute second. Let's enter the same one, same Mark Williams. It says Mark Williams is a developer. But this is a quite tedious task. If you just miss something for giving some space, or you missed some characters over here, it would like create something different as per what you need. Instead of making it so complicated, we can use a formatted string in Python. Okay. For example, I am just printing here, say using formatted string. I want to print the same text again. So now over here, I am just using the same str1 variable. For using a formatted string, you use F, then give a single quotation mark. This F denotes that this particular string is a formatted string. Now, what is the use of this? You can put the variable names in the curly brackets. So I want to first print the value of the first name variable. Then I want to give a square bracket. Here I want to put the variable last name. I want to close the square bracket, and I want to use is a developer. This is very much simple. Only to print the variable names, I have to use the curly bracket. So I don't have to use the concatenation operator, don't have to give the single quotes again, a space, a square bracket. Just put the square bracket in that, print the value of last name, and just write down after that is a developer. Now, if I try to print the value of str1 over here, let's try and execute this. Again, we will enter the same thing, say Mark Williams. See, just one more thing, what difference you made? You have not given here a space. So let's give us just space over here. No need for any concatenation as such. Let's execute this. See, writing this one in a concatenation operator is a bit tedious if you have to also work on some bigger strings. But using a formatted string by just putting an F and then using a single quotes and putting your data over here is much more simpler. So instead of that, you can use this formatted string concept in Python and make your programs in quite some time. Fine. Now let's move on with the next example here. So let's create another Python file. Let's give a name third.py, and let's move on with the types of operators. Now we have various kind of operators. That is, the first we have the arithmetic operators. We have plus, we have minus, we have multiplication, we have division, we have modulo. Division gives you the quotient, modulo gives you the remainder of the division. Now let's try out some examples on this first, and then we will move on with the next set of operators. So let's create some variables, and we will take the input from the user, saying, say, enter any number. And similarly, we'll take num2, convert it to integer. We'll say enter second number. And then we want to perform the addition of it. So simply we can use it in the print itself, and we can say we want to print the value of num1 plus num2, and that is equal to, here we will give, say, num1 plus num2. Okay. So similar to this, we can work, say, num1 minus num2, and here we'll perform a subtraction. Here we will perform multiplication. Similarly, let's perform here division, and let's perform a modulo. Modulo will give you the remainder of the division. So let's try and execute this first. Alt Shift F10, execute the third program. Let's enter the value as, say, 5, 2. So 5 plus 2, 7. Minus will give you 3. Multiply will give you 10. Divide will give you the value of the quotient, and this will give you the value of the remainder. That's how we are getting the simple operators over here. So now you can use here one more operator, that is, say, let's try and work with num1. We use a double slash num2. Here we use num1, again double slash num2. Now over here, we are going to use this operator is known as the floor operator. Okay, now this is basically will giving you the division, but it will give you in the whole number. Okay, so if I try to execute the program again, I enter again same 5 and 2. You can see here we were getting the quotient in the decimal format. Here it will give you only in the whole number. So you'll only get 2, you will not get 2.5 in this case if you use this double slash, which is a floor operator. Okay, similarly, you have another operator that is a exponent operator. That is basically raised to. So if we try to use here print and we say num1 raised to num2 is equal to, we use here num2 double asterisk num1, num1 double asterisk num2. So it's basically 5 raised to 2. Okay. If you try to execute this, again, let's enter the same numbers. You get 5 raised to 2, that is 25. Okay, that is the power of operator. Now let's create another program for working with operators only, but let's give it a different name, say forth.py. Okay, again, we will take the first 2 input statements same. So just I'm copying down there and we are asking for the number, again a second number over here. Now here we would be working on with the operators, that is the comparison operators, that is more than, we have less than, we have double is equal to, which is for equality. We have an exclamation mark is equal to, which is known as a not equal to operator. We also have a more than equal to operator, a less than equal to operator. So let's try and work with this. We will enter some values and we will try to get whether it is more than, less than, whatever. So basically this will give you the values in Boolean format. It would be either true or false. So if it is more than, you will get the value as true. If a particular number is less than something, you will get the value there as false, something like that. So let's try and print the values here. We will first print say num1 more than num2 is equal to, and here we will concatenate the value saying num1 more than num2. Now this expression would either evaluate to true or false. So either num1 will be more than num2 or not. So if it is more than num2, you will get the value true. Otherwise, you will get the value as false. It depends on what numbers you are basically entering there. Okay. Now similar to this, we will add here less than operator also. Let's add there more than equal to. Similarly, say less than equal to. Okay, then let's add here double is equal to for equality. Let's add not equal to. Okay, so we have added there almost all the operators.